Hello everyone and welcome back to a best-of-5 series of professional StarCraft 2. Today it's time for a Terran versus Protoss, where in game number 1 we find ourselves on Lightshade. Now this is not just your regular game of TVP, so today it's time for a series played in Archon Mode. Archon Mode, one of the least popular game modes in all of StarCraft 2 and actually one of my personal favorites. Like literally if you decide to queue up with a buddy of yours in Archon Mode, the hardest thing is finding opponents. It can take up to like half an hour or so. I've tried it in the past. It's a little bit disappointing because it's so epic. At the very least, the premise is so cool. So in case you're unfamiliar, the way it works, Archons, of course, I mean, imagine two High Templar coming together. They become, as one, right? Power overwhelming and all that. That's basically the idea behind this game mode as well. So up to 4 players. In this particular series, it's just 2 each. But up to 4 players can control one side of the map at the same time, simultaneously. So spotting here in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade, we have none other than ByuN, as well as his teammate Dark. ByuN, of course, one of the highest ranked Terrans in the world. Dark, one of the highest ranked Zergs. You can imagine, right? I mean, the idea of this game mode, you can imagine both of these guys perfectly capable of playing at like 400 actions per minute. When you have 2 guys playing that at the exact same time, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential. Anyways, their opponents in the opposite corner, playing with the blue Protoss probes, they go by the name of a Lamphars. This is going to be, of course, none other than Lambo and Harstem. Lambo and Harstem, of course, one of the highest, or some of the highest ranked players from the European servers. So it's Europe going up against South Korea. I'm excited. Now, there's a couple of things. I have played Archon Mode in the past. It's very tricky, right? So as a StarCraft player, especially a 1 versus 1 StarCraft player, generally speaking, you don't really specialize in communication, right? You communicate with yourself. Oftentimes, what I've found in Archon Mode is that you either like have one guy doing like 99% of the work, and then like maybe have the other guy flying around with a medevac or like, I don't know, a bunch of phoenixes or something along those lines, or you really properly split the task and you communicate about what you're doing. The thing is, I have found, at least in my own games of Archon Mode, I have found it to be very difficult to properly communicate. And as soon as like, the game gets very chaotic, I have a tendency to be a terrible teammate and take over everything. This is just like years and years of playing the game, and it's quite difficult for me to like, give up that control, if that makes any sense. I know this sounds very dramatic, but what I'm trying to get at is that like, if you start making the assumption your ally is cleaning something up while you're busy doing other stuff, it's very easy to like start overlapping tasks. And if you're both trying to control the same units, it can become a little bit of a disaster. So you definitely want to, keep track of what is happening, and you want to really try and communicate to the best of your abilities. So generally speaking, I think it's a good idea to split up the tasks, right? So if I were to make a guess, ByuN, obviously being a Terran player, I think he's probably more comfortable with the macro cycle. So I can imagine that up to this point, it's pretty much all been ByuN playing the game. And that as soon as this first medevac pops, I think that's when Dark will spring into action. At least that's kind of like how I imagine they will divide up the tasks. Look at that. You see the rally point being set right there? This is one of the things. That means that these Hellions will be picked up quicker than normal. This is one of those... well... It's definitely Dark controlling this, yeah. It's one of those things you normally don't do in a 1 versus 1 because you're busy doing other stuff. But yeah, I think this is probably Dark now taking control of this medevac right over here. At the very least, that would make a little bit of sense. Now let's talk about units that are good, right? For example, Archon Mode. I think actually Widow Mines, if I were to make a guess... I mean, you can retarget with them, but like early game drops with Widow Mines might not be... This is, by the way, a funky build. We have 4 Hellions into a bunch of Widow Mines as a follow-up. That is not something we normally see. Okay, the shield battery is helping out a lot. Ugh, no pickup on that one either. I guess that actually these units are not going to be able to make it that far anyway. Alright, at the very least, one of them will be caught. Anyways, I don't think Widow Mine drops as far as harassment go are going to be that helpful. Maybe I'm mistaken, but... Normally, you kind of rely on your opponent making a mistake, right? When you play with Widow Mines. At least when you try and drop them off into a mineral line, it's going to be kind of difficult, right? Maybe I say that right now and we're just about to see an entire mineral line blow up. Well, you can be an absolute nuisance. If you keep retargeting actually with the Widow Mines, you don't ever actually, have to detonate them. So there's a Widow Mine right over in there. In the back! Oh, no. I don't think he realized that there's a second one. Or they realized, rather, there's a second one. Okay, the Hellion right there gets cleaned up. 4 probes end up going down. This one is gonna, like, come off cooldown in a little bit. At this point, there's not a whole lot of detection available. No one really paying attention to the clock. I think this is here to, like, try and create a bit of a distraction. Widowmine over here on top of the ramp too. This one is once again gonna detonate. Yeah, so if you retarget 100 times, the Widowmine will actually never explode. I would like to see that tested out. Just have, like, you know, one of the Widowmines constantly retargeted, and that way you can kind of make it so that, you know... Oh my god, they really need to get rid of that thing. Okay, finally some detection is coming up. You can kind of deny them mining there for a very long time. Okay, I was thinking maybe Widowmines aren't a good idea. Okay, so what other units are good ideas, right? I think Phoenixes... Oh god. I think Phoenixes have a ton of potential. So Phoenixes are one of those units that definitely benefit from being active, right? The same would be, for example, Mutalisks, although in this matchup, Terran versus Protoss, I don't think it's a very good idea to go for Mutas, right? It'd be kind of hard to pull off. What else is good? Basically, all of the Terran bio units would be good. Disruptors, obviously, are another one of those units that have a lot more potential in Archon mode than in 1v1, just because you're limited by being, you know, made out of flesh, right? Being just a human meat bag, right? Being limited in that sense is a little tricky. This is something we don't see every day. A Phoenix lifted up a landed Viking. Only in Archon mode. In the meantime, though, small little hit squad right over here. A couple of Phoenixes are trying to pick up a couple of reinforcements that... Yeah, that third base is now gone. Lambo and Harstem finding themselves in a bit of a weird and a bit of a funky position. That being said, I mean... They've taken a lot of damage, right? So here go the Phoenixes with some counterattack. They've taken a lot of damage, but the problem is that all of those Terran units have basically died as well. Like, the Phoenixes are really good at base defense, obviously. Not a lot of units are going to be able to escape. And that's, you know, that is not a very valuable Phoenix. Or, sorry, a very valuable Raven there at all. That Raven definitely did not pay for itself. Alright. So, resources lost-wise, yeah, that kind of paints that picture. Even though 13 probes have been killed, it's not like, you know, it came at the cost of nothing right here for the Terrans. Alright, so, follow-up right now is going to be just a good old Colossus. What other units would be good? I think just Bio-Terran, like Marine Marauder Medivac. It's one of those comps that has a lot of potential, like if ByuN can focus all of his attention on just splitting Marines and Marauders, which is what he does in most of his games anyways, right? But if you then also have, like, a lot of macro on the back of it, I think there's a lot of potential there. Colossi, I mean, Colossi are obviously good, but I think War Prism juggling could be very good for the Protoss. Like, High Templar inside of a Prism, for example, but also Disruptors inside of a Prism have a lot of potential. Ghosts are like one of those units that I don't think are optimized as much in multiplayer either. Like, Ghosts have a lot of potential too. But obviously, usually in a multiplayer game, there's only so much attention you can really give those units. I guess just multitasking and just, you know, hitting your opponent at multiple angles at once is one of the things. Blink Stalker. There's a lot of stuff. Basically, the entire game gets better is what I'm getting at. Alright, Recall. I also wonder how many people are even aware of Archon mode in the first place. Like, I feel like it's never really been advertised that much. Like this, I can imagine actually, let me know down below in the comment section. If you're like a regular StarCraft player or a StarCraft viewer, you're probably very familiar with Archon mode and you've heard of it at the very least. But maybe like some people here are, you know, hearing about it for the very first time right now. Let me know down below. Have you ever played it? Have you ever heard of it? Did you even know it was a thing? Oh, body blocking right here by one. This is the weirdest body block I've seen in a long time. That Zealot sacrificing itself. This probe apparently sacrificing itself as well as it got trapped right there while making a bunch of gateways in a Twilight Council. Very late Twilight Council, by the way. You know what? I take it back. I thought these Widow Mines wouldn't really achieve much, but they have been an absolute nuisance. So, by the way, the reason why the Zealot is over here so that it's so that the Widow Mines can't just walk into the mineral line. Eventually, right here, detection is given by the Photon Cannon. So, the Widow Mines will be cleared out. Double Robo as a follow-up. Oh, the first Robo got killed. I was going to say, are we going to go triple Robo? It's a little extreme. Void Ray being built as well. I do know, by the way, that a lot of the StarCraft pros are very keen on playing StarCraft. I know, this is crazy, but, like, a lot of them don't just play 1 versus 1. A lot of them play Archon mode and, like, you know, custom games. I know Zealot Hockey, for example, is quite popular with the Europeans. I've played a little bit of Zealot hockey with them in the past. They're very good at it, which is kind of funny. Which is just literally like a game mode in the arcade in StarCraft 2 where you just play as a Zealot playing hockey. I mean, it's it's kind of descriptive, right? I didn't really need to explain that, but they play a lot of custom games. There's also a bunch of co-op and stuff. Free-for-alls are being played as well from time to time. So, yeah, I can imagine they're probably more experienced playing Archon Mode than most players are. Most casual players, anyway. Alright. It's kind of interesting, though, right? So after a long day of playing games of StarCraft 2 to try and get better at the game, what do you do at night to relax? You play more StarCraft 2. By the way, you can kind of see what player has selected what units. So you see right on these units, for example, every once in a while there's like a dotted line going around them, which indicates that one of the two players is selecting it. The other player has like a full, like not a dotted line, but like a full line. So you can kind of see, I'm trying to see what the other guy is looking at right now. Maybe it's the Phoenixes? Where did the Phoenixes even go? Oh, they're right here with the rest of the army. Yeah, so these right here have like a full line around them, right? So no dotted line on that one. Bit of a chaotic game. There's the disruptors, by the way. Oh, that's what I mean! That disruptor got targeted before it explodes. That is definitely ByuN in the driver's seat of this Bio army. Bio army joined with one Viking, and then also a couple of Cyclones. Up north, we also have another battle happening. Zealot here trying to go in for the run-by. Yeah, so oftentimes in a regular 1 versus 1, Terran versus Protoss is very much so about trying to create as much chaos for your opponent until they eventually crumble under the pressure. And I can imagine in an Archon Mode game, that pressure is not going to arrive as early, right? Like that crumbling and you know, falling apart where you're trying to put out 17 fires at once. It might not happen as quickly. But if you have one guy, for example, a little bit too trigger-happy on the battery overcharge, that could be a disaster as well. Huge Terran Bio army, by the way, here at the front. Okay. We're looking for big detonations. Okay, that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good detonation right there on that disruptor. At the same time, there are Zealots going in for the counterattack. So they're trying to get as much damage done on the other side of the map. Usually this is when there's a bit of a pause in the battle, but in this game, not the case. Shield battery running very low on health. Apparently one of the Colossi also got killed right there by the Vikings. A lot of SCVs are going down, though, during all of this. I think the reinforcements are just not popping out of those barracks quickly enough, and Lambo and Harstem definitely find themselves in a pretty good position right now. 71 workers versus 40. Zealots aren't done yet, though. Fourth Nexus done as well at the 12 o'clock position. Terran army is much bigger. Can they buy enough time right now for another battery overcharge, or for example, just, you know, this army right here, this Terran army to be destroyed? Well, that battery is not happening. Nice snipe right there on the Colossus as well. Protoss will probably win this game in the long run, but the problem is that there's a huge Terran army right here. A couple of the... Ooh, okay. Couple of the Vikings right there decide to land. Additional, well, disruptors right here rolling out of that facility. Okay, nice pickup there, just barely in the nick of time, but... The problem is that every single minute that goes by right now, that Protoss army will outgrow the Terran. The mules obviously are going to be very helpful, so for at least a little bit. ByuN and Dark are going to be able to get themselves some additional income. Medevac speeding towards the main base. Trying to get maximum amounts of damage done. Blink, by the way, only just now finishing up. That is rather late. A couple of Zealots once again ready to go in for the counterattack. Normally when it comes to, for example, Zealot run-bys, you kind of just shift queue them in, right? But in this case, they're being played a lot more tactically. Yep, even a couple of them are splitting off from the pack. They're gonna try and see if they can optimize the amount of damage. And this is where that income advantage is really starting to pay off. Even though a couple of probes right there got killed as well inside of the main base, the eco advantage is heavily in favor right now of Protoss. And that means that over the course of the next few minutes, if that is not changed, they're gonna continue growing in that supply count. So already we're at 146 versus 101. Well, this does not help either. Yeah, that does not help at all. 2 more medevacs get picked off as well. That's like 20 supply down the drain. +3/+3 comes up. Double Forge. Chrono Boost, obviously. I'm assuming they're on top of it. Yep. Chrono Boost is another one of those things that's usually kind of slacked on as the game progresses. Well, at least, you know, you don't want to, but it's very easy to forget about it. But they've been on top of that for the most part in this game. And I'm a little bit concerned right now for the Terran that this is mostly just a game of economy. We can try and go for desperation doom drops. Alright, battery overcharge once again. At least the battery will be killed, but that was a very expensive set of units. And this Protoss army does not mess around. Okay, Disruptors once again force those units to get picked up into the Medivacs, but that is still a ton of SCVs now also going down on the other side of the map. And once more, yeah, it looks like there were some zealots trying to just multitask, and even though all of it gets cleaned up, eventually GG is called. And Lambo and Harstem win game number 1. Alrighty, so game number 2. Apparently we have our Protoss players switching to the beautiful pink Protoss probes, but game number 2 is played on Oxide. Now, this particular series, it was played as part of the OlimoLeague Invitational number 5, in case you're unfamiliar. I'll go ahead and post a link to their Patreon page down below in the description of this video. Either way, there was also a third team. So we had Harstem and Lambo playing Protoss, Dark and ByuN playing Terran, but there was also a team playing Zerg, DRG, and Solar. So that's kind of interesting because DRG and Solar are both playing Zerg as their main race. So if you're interested in seeing any of those other games, let me know down below. I would definitely not be against showing some of those other matches as well. But I figured it's been a little while since I casted a Terran versus Protoss, if I'm not mistaken. So let us have a look at what is possible right here today. I guess, if I were to make a guess, I think cheese probably in general is also not as efficient. Right? Maybe. I can imagine playing standard macro is probably the best go-to option in this matchup, but yeah, you could try and cheese out your opponent early on. It's just harder to trick two players, or to, like, you know, trick two players and try and catch them both off guard, I guess. Although a lot of tricking in StarCraft 2 is because of the fog of war, right? Because of the fact that you can only see so much stuff and you don't see the entire map. Maybe not. Maybe in a way it would also be easier to defend because you have two players thinking at the same time. I'm not sure. Anyways, standard openers once again here from the both of them. We'll probably see a command center coming up on the low ground relatively early on. No Reaper this time around, by the way. Really? Are we now gonna... Okay. Dark and ByuN playing extremely safe here. So creating a full wall off first. Not going for the Reaper either. I feel like they are a little bit concerned here to get cheesed at this point in the game. They have skipped the SCV scouts, so it's not like they, you know, have to deal with any... They don't really know too much at this point, but... Going for a Reaper first is usually the standard for a very good reason. Command center in the main base, just making sure you don't get max paxed, right? Where there's like a random second gateway right over here that's gonna just try and, you know, kill the command center that's building on the low ground. I always like it whenever players make the command center in the main base. Either for the natural or for the third base, right? I don't really mind seeing those structures flying across. Even though Blink was a little bit late in the previous game, right now we have a Twilight Council coming up at the 2.5 minute mark. Pretty sure we're going to be seeing that Blink upgrade a little bit sooner this time around, unless they're planning on going for something a little bit more cheesy. Jimmy over here. He's made his way across the map. Okay. Jimmy is being very heavily controlled. Yeah, he's got two commanders shouting at him all the time. He's got one in one headphone, the other one in the other headphone. It's like, go there, go here, go over there, go over here. Jimmy, no! Oh, okay. It is going to be a different build. The Dark Shrine is coming up. That's Jimmy's arm right there. Sorry, Jimmy. The Dark Shrine is coming up. Jimmy could have actually... I think Jimmy had a chance to just march up the ramp and scout this. It's a curious position right there on the Dark Shrine, but... Fair enough. Maybe this is Harstem saying, you know, Lambo, built the Dark Shrine. And Lambo's like, you know what? I'll just plant it right here. Prism comes up. So it's going to be how many gateways in total? Just the 3 of them? Yeah. So it's triple gateway Dark Templar. This hits very early on, by the way. It can definitely catch the opponents off guard, because at this point, I mean, if, for example, Dark decides to be a little bit too ambitious on one of the mules, and he spends the energy of this orbital command right now, this could be a bit of a... problem. Usually there's no detection out until a little while later into the game. In the form of missile turrets at the very least, other than scans. Once again, a Medivac right here going across the map. 2 Widow Mines in that one. Prism already heading into the main base. And there are 3 invisible men. At the same time, on the other side of the map. Ooh, okay, Widow Mine drop trying to get something done. This is the point, though, at which the Terrans realize that something is not quite right. Raven comes up as well. Widow Mine drop in the main base. Natural expansion has mostly been cleared out. Okay, decides to uproot that one once again. If you can kill... Okay, I was gonna say, if you can kill the starboard, that would be massive, but... Nah. Alright, so 5 SCVs. 2 additional probes in the main base. Actually, no. I say additional, but so far it's been a near flawless game right here for the Protoss. Could still go for the blink upgrade as a follow-up, I suppose. I like this as well, yeah. I think like Dark Templar into Archon drops make a lot of sense. You can have like one guy just dedicating himself to juggling these units, right? And Archons have obviously a ton of potential. There's a Viking coming as well. Normally we see Archon drops against... My god, he's been obnoxious with... There's so much lost mining time over here. Normally we see Archon drops primarily with Protoss versus Zerg. Well, we haven't really seen that much recently either, but... Chart comes up as a follow-up. 3rd Nexus has been planted down at the 12 o'clock position. Yeah, these Archons are getting value. Just gotta be careful you don't accidentally get the Prism killed, obviously. Not only, obviously, are they getting value, they're also doing some scouting here and there. And a Widow Mine drop in red hit points, coming back in for more, might be a little bit overly ambitious. I don't like this spot. I guess it's fine because the Prism will regenerate some of those shields. Yeah, Viking already no longer chasing. You can see that there's a lot of activity with dropships. Yeah. Oh! God, he managed to burrow. Gets at least one more worker, not bad. Alrighty, so slowly but surely though, neither players or neither side of the map has really taken any significant damage. Slowly but surely we are building up. No 3rd command center just yet here for the Terrans. Did he just really not repair that Medivac first? Okay, I was gonna say, that seems a little bit ambitious. He could do it, I guess. Apparently the Raven decided to drop an auto turret on the other side of the map. 2 kills from that one. Deft is not going to be able to get out of there. Oh, this is funky. That is always going to go in favor, though, of the Archons, yeah. Is he even going to try and chase this down? I think he is. If you hover above the dead space, the Archons can't get out, yeah. Using the boost right now to get that Medivac to safety. Raven on the other side of the map, still just flying around. Living its best life. That's good, yeah, it's good, man. 4 probes. Archon drop still being an absolute annoyance. There's the 3rd command center. Not a lot of space in the main base to build, so... Oh my god. Dude, the Archon drops are actually so sick here. Can we see actions per minute? I think this is combined. Yeah, it's definitely combined. Yeah. So this is combined actions per minute for both players on one side of the map. Because there's no way they're at 571 actions per minute individually. That would be a bit much at this stage in the game, especially. We see Zergs usually with very high APMs because of the... Dude, he's defending against Medivac drops with Archon drops. That is... Look, he's taking the shorter route as well, trying to cut off that Medivac. Pylon over here will spot as well where that Medivac is going. So funny. Well, you can't drop over here. Raven over in the top right-hand corner of the map, also hanging out in dead space. Alright, so. Terrans haven't really had much economy, or they don't really have a lot of bases. They do, however, have a pretty large army. I'm a little bit concerned, though, for the third CC timing. Yeah, it's only just now finishing. Matter of fact, drop not achieving anything. Nope. Lambo and Harstem are playing really well. Okay, recall right here. Is that the Archons? It's one Archon. I think the Archon, the War Prism itself apparently got sniped. So one Archon managed to get back home in safety. He lost his brother. Or brothers, I guess, because Archons, you know. Gotta be careful, though. Oof. If the siege tanks are not sieged and you get charged at, the game can be a bit of a disaster. Oh. He wants to fight right now, dude. The Widow Mines right here on top of all of the siege tanks as well. It's gonna be very difficult to clear that out. Time to leapfrog a couple of the tanks a little bit further forward. One Zealot trying to come in from the back. I love this. The slow pushing with the siege tanks and the Widow Mines. Okay, another stim has been used. One Immortal misrallied. Even 4 eyes apparently not enough. Robo Bay comes up. Second Robo facility probably not too far behind either. Disruptors are really nice, obviously. Zealots once again cleaning up. A couple of SCVs, but this is also defended much better. At least compared to game number 1. Siege tanks slowly moving forward. Trying to get into some of those good Oxide positions. Okay, here we go. There's going to be a moment where you have to fight this. A couple of the Protoss units coming in from the back as well. Terran trying their very best right here to micro both of these armies. But microing into Zealots that are just slicing with their side blades. Not very easily done. Good hold right here by the Protoss. Very nice hold. That Raven, once again in the back, by the way. 14 kills. I think it probably dropped another auto turret right there in the natural. Maybe a couple. Third CC in the meantime has landed, of course. And a Disruptor now is coming up indeed. Ooh, decent amount of force fields, but good pickup right there on the medevac. Evacuating those units that were caught on the other side of the wall. Man, the Raven has been relentless. Oh my god, 15 kills. Yeah, I think a Phoenix opener is still superior, man. So you have to choose, right? Do you want to go Phoenixes or do you want to go Archon drops, I guess? They decided to mix it up, but I think Phoenixes might be better. To be fair, though, even when they played Phoenixes, they still took a lot of damage from the Widow Mines as well. Not really what you're supposed to be looking for. Disruptor. Disruptors. Oh, good force field. Very good force field. Barely nips a couple of those Terran units in the butt. Dark Templar over here. Forcing a scan, killing a couple of SCVs. Fourth Nexus, though, is finished up. Okay, there's a big medevac drop towards that fourth Nexus. Protoss army still trying to run around here. It's a lot of probes being killed, though. Yep. Terran army has got to be a little bit... Oh, actually, I say that. There's not that much firepower here in these Protoss units, to be honest. Just the Immortal. It's one way to clear out the Widow Mines. Fair enough. Stalkers inside of the main base as well. Try to prevent a big flyby, I suppose, but... Yeah, the Terran units, man. This is definitely ByuN on the controls. ByuN with the joystick in hand. Maybe Dark as well, I don't know. Maybe one of them is controlling one side and the other one is controlling the other side. I don't know. I would like to know how this is split up, but they're clearly in voice chat, right? Because no one's talking in the in-game chat. Oh, okay. And with that level of harassment, a little bit anticlimactic. I don't actually think that was necessarily game over yet, but... Still feel like they could have definitely done a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think their game was as dire as they probably thought it was. They didn't have that many SCVs. Anyways, speaking of SCVs, right here on Romanticide, that's gonna be game number 3. We already see. What is it with Dark with the winking emoji? We already see that SCV moving out. Where are we going, Dark and ByuN? What are we doing? When you're going for an early proxy, right? Do you really benefit from having 2 players? I'm not sure. Especially like in Terran versus Protoss, I can imagine this is not really like Lambos and Darks, like, you know, since they're both Zerg players, this is probably not their like best, you know, matchup. It's probably not the matchup they're most comfortable with. I can imagine it's mostly going to be the Terran and the Protoss player, right? ByuN and Harstem that will be defending against cheeses. Because they know how to respond to those scenarios, but... I'm not sure. Gateway inside of the main base here for Lambo and Harstem. Single barracks, though, on the left side of the map. Nothing all too crazy. Although it is a double refinery follow-up as well, so... Are we gonna proxy all the things? I wouldn't mind seeing a proxy for all the things, but probably just... No, it is gonna be a Marine. Okay. I thought it was just gonna be a Reaper here. So we are gonna proxy the factory as well. Okay. There it is. It is not that far to walk. Probe Scout once again skipped. So Lambo and Harstem have no idea what's going on. Cybercore inside of the main base. Okay. Jimmy, where are you going? Oh, Jimmy is scouting for proxies as well. He's taking the strangest route ever, but eventually he'll arrive in the natural. And then apparently the main base. There's a reactor here as well. So are we gonna go Starport as a follow-up as well then or something? Starport, pump out a couple Hellions and then drop them off over here. Kill all the stuff? Is that the idea? What are we looking for? Stargate once again as a follow-up. Yeah, I like the Stargate idea. Yep, there's the Starport. I think it could also be Widow Mines. Okay, nah, it's gonna be Hellions. This is gonna hit extremely early, by the way. To the point where I'm not even wondering, or I'm not even sure if there's gonna be that many probes here to kill in the first place. Okay, here's the first adept going across the map. This is going to be that scouting info. If it's once again a Phoenix opener, I think this could backfire pretty hard. Oh, okay, so it's 2 Hellions now into Widow Mines. Alright, so let's see. So it takes more than 2 Hellions, though, to one-shot those probes. So it's going to require both of the Hellions to fire multiple times. Good splits right there. Very good splits. Very nice splits. Although a couple of units are still gonna get killed. A couple of probes, that is. Oracle first. Second adept. Or I guess the first one technically has come back home. Widow Mines are gonna come out very soon as well. Obviously, keep in mind, the Oracle does have a skill called Revelation, which is nice against these Widow Mines. Keep burrowing and unburrowing it. It's not a bad idea. Phoenix is a follow-up, so there is a timer on this build. Oh, that's also a way of dealing with it. Sure. Adept apparently can, together with the Oracle, out DPS it while it's still burrowing. After it gets dropped. Very nice to know. Medivac number 2. This one is apparently empty, so Medivac number 2 is going to go in instead. Now there's a Phoenix out. Good lift right there on that one. Not a whole lot of other units, though, that hit up. Nah, that's killed. Yep, that's killed. Probes apparently helping out as well. Calm and collected. Very nicely done here so far. Look at the retargeting. They had to create a little bit more distance right there on that other probe to prevent it from retargeting a gajillion times. So what they're looking for, right, is to eventually overpower all of this. One little slip up can create an advantage right here for the Terran. But so far, it's not happening. There's the Revelation skill. It's going to create a little bit of vision right here from cloaked units. This one. Careful. Medevac in the main base. There's one. Okay, that's bad. Natural Expo. Also getting another explosion in. Or 2 explosions in. There's 3 Widow Mines over here. Ay. This was going so well here for the Protosses. Now keep in mind, this is still 1 base, right? There's no Natural Expo. I mean, the Nexus, or sorry, the Command Center is going to finish up eventually. But while this is all going on, 8 probes right there, not really enough. 21 probes? Oh my god. 21 probes by the 5-minute mark. Like 21 probes killed by the 5-minute mark, that is. Yeah, we're finally starting to see some big hits. But even right now, we're still talking 28 workers versus 28 workers. Oh my god. The Phoenix count is still relatively small, but it is growing. Probe right here, send out. I think he wants to know if there's an expo. Or how much there is here for the Terrans. A little group of adepts as well. One medevac somehow, some way managed to sneak past all of this. Drops off one of them. Very clever. Okay, drops it off in the most annoying position. Getting 2 workers over there. Forcing this Oracle to stay home as well, right? And obviously, those Phoenixes also are used defensively for the most part. No more medevacs coming out of that starport for at least a little bit. That's a random position right there on these mines, but I don't mind it. Ooh, unintentional pun there. Not bad. Okay, medevacs are being killed. Everything will eventually be cleaned up. And yeah, big picture. I mean, so many workers were killed. I feel like half of those workers could have actually been prevented there, and we're still at a Protoss advantage. So it's one of those builds like the one base openers that, yeah, not a huge fan. Third Nexus is gonna be planted. Big hit squad of adepts, ready to go across the map. They are getting across right as Stimpack is finishing, though. Okay. Ooh, this could be good. This could be very good. Very good. Still Widow Mines, by the way, pumping out of those, or getting pumped out of that factory over there. My god, dude, this is so obnoxious. These Widow Mines are being so annoying. There's another revelation. Can I kill these 2 as well? Yep. So finally this will be cleared out. Adepts are also apparently heading on over in this direction. He's had enough. Whoever's dealing with this, they've had enough. Okay, we have the scouting factory. Armory right here on the left as well, of course. To make those Widow Mines extra obnoxious. Eventually, after a very action-packed first 8 minutes of the game, I think we're stabilizing. And we're stabilizing with what seems to be a Protoss advantage. What? No way! Come on, man! I thought he was gonna scout with the factory. No, he is. He just wanted to scout with the Widow Mine as well, I guess. Fair enough. Adept is not very good against structures. Just your regular good old scouting factory, don't worry about it. He could send the Phoenixes back home to try and, like, you know, clean this up, but there's the 3rd CC all the way in the back. The problem is if you send the Phoenixes back home, it's a bit of a waste of time, right? You really want to keep those actively on the other side of the map to pick up as many units as possible. Getting a medevac, for example, would be nice. +1 flyer is even coming up, by the way, so they're definitely doubling down on those Phoenixes. Eventually, the armory will be building, or will be burning down. I gotta need to build another one. Although I've already started up to +2 here, so... Come on, man. This is probably Dark playing this way, man. Dark's like, you know what? Widow Mines are good, right? I get my Zerglings and Banelings killed by Widow Mines all the time. It's a great idea. Okay, Can he sneak out one more before the factory burns down? Nope. Nope. That's too many zealots. Alright, so. Terran now currently at, well, a decent amount of army. Oh my god, okay, I was gonna say, they have to get something bigger done. There's not a lot of splash damage available for the Protoss. Robo Bay and second Robo Facility have just started up. Okay, this is where those Phoenixes are super useful though, right? They're ready to pick up, oh, that was really quite good. They're ready to pick up quite a few of those Terran units as they were on the attack move towards the other side. Anyways, the SCVs have been pulled. That means we are now dealing with a Terran all-in. Third command center is done. He basically pulled all of the SCVs from the main base. They're here to soak up damage. They're buying so much time, though. Like these Phoenixes, that is. Oh, there's another Medivac. This is where the Phoenixes really shine. Static defense is slowly finishing up. No splash damage in this Protoss army, though. He's going for a Colossus right now, or they're gonna go for a Colossus right now. Oh my god, this Terran army looks huge. Dude, these Phoenixes, man. Those Phoenixes have been amazing. +1 ground weapons also finishing up right now. He's got force fields. Yep. Terrible force fields, but fair enough. Seems like it does the trick. A couple of zealots make their way to the other side of the map as well. If they can buy enough time for the Colossus to be out. Ah, man. There's a supply block at least on one of them. Okay. It is finally building. That would be nice. Reinforcing Terran units, though, are out. Widow mines over here have already been exploded, and the Phoenixes are helping out over there, too. Okay, we see the Medivacs now splitting themselves up from the rest of that Terran pack. Phoenix is going back home. Zealots have been cleaned up. Ooh, SCVs, though, starting to soak up a little bit of damage. There's one Colossus out. Just the Colossus, though, is not going to be enough. Okay, a couple of Zealots are helping out as well. Most of the SCVs have already been killed. Now the Terran army once again rejoins with the rest. That Medivac drop at the very least. Colossus walks down the ramp. Oh my god. Nah, I think there's enough Protoss. Yeah, there's enough Protoss. GG. Okay, nice. That means we're gonna go into the next game. Dark, what's this, man? Dark wanted to do that just a single time, man. He wanted to drop a mule on the opposing player's army. Alrighty. 2K atmospheres. As much as I like that that Widow Mine shenanigans from earlier. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No. I like watching it, but it's not. I don't think it's a very good strat. Like, it's a good strat when you can pile on the pressure. And then at some point, you know, at some point while your opponent is putting out 17 fires, you know, at some point you might be able to burn down everything, right? But it seemed to me like even though they took quite a lot of damage, they were still in control reasonably well. At some point, that Phoenix count obviously grew to a reasonable number, and then those Medivacs just, yeah, kind of got shut down. Either way, we'd love to see more, some more shenanigans right here from Harstem and Lambo. Okay, double gas. All right, we'll see where they go. Is it time for them to get cheesy? Proxying the second pylon. Definitely not a bad idea. I'm a fan. Let's do it. So far, Dark and ByuN opening up standardly. Single refinery. Orbital command soon. Reaper first, I imagine, and then command center on the low ground. Oh, no. Reactor first. Okay. So, indeed, the second pylon is being proxied on the, kind of the other side of the map. Yeah, it's not that far. My voice is a little bit itchy, by the way, in case you're, you may have already noticed that. In case you're unfamiliar, I've been no-living the stream a little bit. I've been streaming a ton of hours over the last couple of days. It's a proxy Stargate, okay. In case you've watched me on Twitch, I've been a little bit addicted to New World. New MMORPG that just came out. Been playing that game a little bit too much. I think I've logged about 30 hours in the last couple of days, including streaming. So it's been busy. I've prepared some videos in advance. This is once again the first video that I am recording I prepared a couple of videos, like the ones that have been going up on the channel of the last couple of days. I prepared those in advance. Either way, double barracks here. Interesting. So we're going triple ranks. This should be a pretty good situation for the Terrans, right? I mean, it's a proxy Void Ray. I guess we're going double tech lab on those other two structures, but this is going to be a ton of Marines either way. Could add on Marauders, I suppose, but I guess as soon as they pick up on something being wrong, they should probably go for units that have anti-air. Bunker at the front. There's indeed the first tech lab. So normally what you do is you go Stimpak, Combat Shield. Stimpak being the longer upgrade, so usually you get it first. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go for a little bit of shenanigans here. I don't know exactly how this works out. Normally this is defended with, like, Cyclones and Vikings. I'm assuming just Marines themselves, though, in big numbers would be pretty good. Can I not just shut this down before it, like, gets really underway? Like, with the Marines, that is? Good control right there, obviously, on that Void Ray. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Marine count will just grow, won't it? Maybe a second bunker over here. Oh, well, I mean, if they get the shield batteries up, this game is going to become a lot more interesting. He's pumping out 4 Marines, or they're pumping out 4 Marines at once. I keep autopiloting, saying, you know, him or, you know, just a singular person. It's plural, Lowko. Oh my god, did they just still get the shield batteries up and running regardless? It's gonna be difficult, though. There's gonna be a lot of Marines, and eventually Stimpak is gonna finish. Stimpak's gonna finish about 5-ish minutes into the game. They hit a bit of a supply block here, the Terrans, but luckily they can drop supply depots out of the high heavens. Don't know where they come from, man. We're doing the dance, but right now the roles have been reversed. Terrans, at least compared to the previous game, now the Terrans have far more eco, and they're just adding on way more stuff. Okay, so combat shield is almost done. Stimpak at this point is finished. Do you pull the boys and just try to break through this? Or do you keep dancing? Oh no, here we go. They decide to just try and pull through this. Oh, they're gonna be able to just, yeah, slide between all of those Protoss structures. They needed to make a full wall. If they would have made a full wall, nah, even that, I think it would have been very good. At the very least, they wouldn't have lost all the Void Rays like that. So that brings us to a Blackburn. Final map in his Best-of-5 series. Dark, where's the winky face? Hello. Come on, where's the winky face? No winky face? Oh. Yeah, so far it seems like both sides benefit the most from just playing, you know, standard, right? The cheeky games, they're a lot of fun. I love watching them, but they don't seem to have a particularly high win rate anymore. Therefore, I wouldn't be surprised at all if both sides decide to play just a regular good old macro game. Maybe they think differently, though. Could be just a probe scout. This probe is not heading towards the other side of the map, is it? Are they scouting? Ah, they're just scouting. They're just making sure that there's no cheeky barracks over here. Which is possible. Obviously, if you build the barracks over here, the Reaper can jump straight up. Wait. Is that what he is trying to do? Interesting. One SCV snuck out. Are we gonna go Nexus first? Nah, we're gonna go Cybercore first, right? I was gonna say. Nexus before Cybercore would be a little bit greedy. Single gas right here for the Terrans, though, so a nice little scout right there for the Protoss. That being said, even though it is a single gas, it's a Marine first. No gas being spent over here. And apparently the factory is coming up. Not really that far from the barracks, right? Like, I can still get them on one screen. It's just going to be in a different position, I guess, and it will arrive, you know, a little bit quicker on the other side of the map, but not that much. I guess the advantage, though, is that you can always lift this factory back up and bring it back. Sorry, Probe. What? I was gonna say, why did he let him live for that much longer, man? What was that torture? Dark and ByuN are cruel. Starport also over here. Okay. So what's the difference here? About 3 seconds. So the build will hit ever so slightly quicker. Don't know if it makes much of a difference, but usually those early game defensive builds, they are pretty tight. Robo facility. Sorry. It's just that the Blizzard music in general, man. You can say many things about Blizzard, but their music is phenomenal. The music they put in the games, so good. So what are we doing here? What is the... Are we just gonna go for a medevac drop in the main base? Well, no Phoenix opener this time around, so that harassment is pretty strong. Obviously, this has also been spotted right now, right? Like, they know at the very least that there's no command center here on the low ground. Fusion core? Oh my god, I love it! Wait. Oh, yeah, let's go. So starport from that side of the wall to the other side. Tech lab on it. Hellions inside of the main base. This is enough to one-shot the probes. Yep. So if you have them firing all at once... Oh my god, that's a lot of damage being done. They're gonna go for a battlecruiser. So we're going Hellion drop into battlecruiser. Is it a good build? No, not really. Is it a fun build? Hell yeah. There's the battlecruiser coming up, man. Battlecruisers take like 7 years to produce, though, so... This map is also not very good for this sort of shenanigans, because, like, you still have this ramp to deal with, right? Like, you can go battlecruiser in the main base or something, and then, like, Marines at the front. But this ramp is relatively easy to defend, especially with a shield battery. Harstem and Lambo playing for the win. ByuN and Dark already have a ton of tournament earnings, man. They don't need more. They're just here to entertain us. Oh, this is a problem. A Banshee would have already been out. A Raven would have already showed itself. Well, there we go. Battle cruiser operational. Jump straight into the main base. Tactical jump is now going to be on cooldown. Shield battery pretty good, man. Yeah, shield battery pretty good. A couple of stalkers just trying their very best to get something done. Okay, was that really good? No, not really. Bunker at the front? I love it, but also not really. I mean, obviously it's got to create like a buffer for these units to, you know, defend over there. Battlecruiser trying to join with the rest of the Terran units. Yeah, no, yeah, no. Liberator is a follow-up right now as well, but so far, the tools of harassment chosen here by the Terran, it's not really paid off. So, StarCraft is very much so a game of economy. We're talking 42 workers versus 25. Every single minute that goes by right now, look at that. Top left-hand corner. This is the income. Harstem and Lambo getting close to 2,000 minerals a minute. ByuN and Dark, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they've never really saturated the base either. They're getting a little bit. I mean, obviously, they did. They pulled the boys. Okay. Protoss feeling so comfortable that they're just fighting down on... Do you see that, by the way? Both players trying to control those Marines. Do you see them jittering around? That was both players trying to control the Marines. One of them pulling in one direction, the other one in the other direction. They're like... Anyways, Protoss feeling so comfortable right now. They're not even fighting on top of the ramp where there's a gajillion shield batteries. At this point, Harstem and Lambo have picked up on the fact that it's a one-base all-in. Observer still above this. Okay, yeah. Get spotted, but... This medevac drop is gonna have to get a lot of stuff done. Pylon over here in the corner of the main base. Yeah, Harstem and Lambo are making all the right moves. We did see a Twilight Council. No blink somehow. I guess the Twilight is cancelled. Just stuff. More stuff is what we need. Oh, nice interception right there. 4 Stalkers. Ambitiously walking out there on the map. Not bad. They're coming from the back right now as well. Ready to intercept that siege tank in between shots. Good split right there as well. Mitigating as much of that splash damage as possible. No Twilight Council upgrades are needed. ByuN and Dark, cool GG. And with that, it's got to be Harstem and Lambo that obtain the victory. Hope you enjoyed watching today's video. If you did, hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more Archon Mode, let me know down below in the comment section. I can definitely cover a couple more games from this particular tournament. Anyways, for now, take care, stay awesome, don't forget to smile, and I'll see you once again in the next one.